Hey, Gator Nation. Welcome to inaugural episode of Pod of the People, where we answer y'all's questions that y'all send in to us about what we think is going on with Gator recruiting, Gator football, anything like that y'all are kicking around in your head, and you might say, hey, what do these guys think about it? And we just round table it around and see if we can answer what y'all have to ask. We appreciate all the questions you guys send in each and every week, and we'll answer as many of them as we can. But just to preface, guys, if your question might not have been answered in our last episode, make sure you check out that last episode of Respect Our Decision. We cover a lot of these questions there, so we may weed out your question due to the fact that we answered it in the previous show. So make sure y'all check that out. But guys, with that being said, we're going to roll with it, Wes.
Yeah, appreciate it, Hurst. Again, thank you guys for all your questions. We love the interaction with you guys, and you guys created this separate episode for us to do for you guys. So here we go with the first question from our guy that always asks questions, good questions every week. Our boy Justin Wood. Appreciate you, Justin. You interact with us every week, so we want to give you a shout out and we thank you for your support. First question: do you think the Florida Gators getting so many guys on campus this weekend? Do you think Florida does a better job of getting guys to commit on the spot instead of having to circle back to them later in the cycle or flip their commitment?
Thank you so much, Justin, for that question, and thank you for sending them in each and every week, man. We really appreciate that. We kind of went in depth about this in the episode of Respect Our Decision in regards to Haynes coming in and week out, and you would think, Justin, that at this point in time, we've got to, everything about Billy Napier you've ever heard is Billy adjust. If Billy has a miss, he adjusts to it. Well, guess what? We missed on a lot of recruits by not getting them to commit on the spot on a visit. And this weekend might be a very good barometer of if we've learned our lesson or not on that by getting Hayes shut his recruitment down this weekend. Mike?
Yeah, Wes spoke on it earlier. It's with Hayes. I'm hearing I'm seeing duplication of Tim Smith and John Walker. So there's multiple. He's a very good player. However, he's not the only fish in the sea. So, definition of insanity, he's doing the same exact thing and expecting a different result. So, unfortunately right now, I don't have full faith in the staff because I haven't seen the ability for them to. Well, I take that back. They have done that to some recruits, essentially on a consistent basis, especially early on, with like a situation like this, to say, listen, you're done. Like, we're gonna give you a date. It's yes or no. It's like a girl. All right. You're texting her. She may stop texting you. All right. The moment you stop texting her, she hits you up a month later. Oh, how you been? You gotta. At one point you gotta look yourself in the mirror. But listen, yes or no, man.
Justin, I agree that as the boys said, we got to start closing these. Hurst talked about Billy's ability to adapt. You guys know I've harped on that. Maybe I feel a little bit stronger because how I feel I want the 24 class to pan out. And that's why I feel like this is so important. This will show me, this is important to me because this will show me if that top 5 class is possible. Can you get a guy that's been here doing his junior year, not going into his senior year, that obviously likes you, you like him, get him to commit? Top 60 guy. Do it. Get it done. This could be a barometer of what I feel like the rest of the class pans out. Because this is a guy that wants you. He's coming back-to-back weekends early in the year. Get it done.
Mike, add on what you have to say before we move off for Justin's question.
Yeah, no, I love how Wes put that. And one way to make sure we have that top 5 class. Listen, he's a phenomenal player. Okay, however, like there are others, and you don't want to miss on other players while waiting and hoping, even if you're sitting pretty 90%. Okay, you have to have this date in your head and communicate it to them. Like, listen, I want you, but at this point we have to move on because for the betterment of our program, because we can't wait on you, because if we wait, we're gonna miss out on 4, 5, 6 guys that are in your range. So sometimes you got to take a kid that's maybe a little bit less in order to a bird in the hand. So
something else I want to piggyback off of that, and I want to mention because it pertains to what Justin is asking as well. You're going to be fighting early on this stink of the Rashada situation, so you're going to have to show real quick. Look, guys, we got this. Okay, that was one situation. It was a messed up situation, but hey, we're going to recruit like it's the University of Florida, and we have the money to recruit. You got to show that's quick. You got to make sure kids know it right off the jump. We covered that in our Respect Our Decision episode last week about the ramifications that situation could possibly have going forward. So you're going to have to take care of things quick.
All right. Second question from Christian Bowles. How many 2024 commits do you think we'll have by the start of summer? I'm thinking around 7 to 10 is a good number, and then hopefully around 18 to 22 going into the fall.
Christian, thanks so much for sending that in. I'd love to see 7 to 10, heading into the summer. I don't think you'll reach 18 to 22 going into the fall. I need to see this staff show that kind of killer instinct before I'll buy into it. But yeah, you could see 7 to 10 before the summer gets ramping. But you've got, going back to the last question, you've got to put your foot down. You got to make kids commit and not let them drag it out you can't let them do it on their time. It needs to be on your time.
I'm seeing I don't see 7, 10, not the way they're acting. I think they're kind of in vibe mode. And get the best read of the staff. I can see 5. However, well, that's before summer. Now, however, before fall, we have one thing we didn't have yet last year. That is a QB1 in tow. A
heavy recruiter.
Big time QB1 in tow. He's an alpha. He's from the state of Texas, and he is charismatic. All right, that is something that he's our best recruiter since Tebow.
And other kids really like him.
He's the type the kids want to play with. He has that aura about him. All right. So that being said, have him in tow. I see we can easily have 15 kids ready by for fall. Easily.
Yeah. Christian, to answer your question, thanks for the question. I can see we already have 3. Let's say we get Hayes, that's 4. So by summer, you have the spring game. You're going to have guys in town for spring game. You probably get 7 to maybe 8 before then. And to Mike's point about Lagway, our big thing is always Friday Night Lights. So Billy always sets things up. We saw last year where you have these 4. You have a guy commit Thursdays and Fridays and Saturday. So maybe we do that again this year, and some things pop at spring game, and then you have Friday Night Lights later on, and maybe I don't see your 18 to 22 number, but to Mike and Hirsch's point, maybe you get to that 15, 14 range, you get 7 more during that time. So I'm good there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I know Billy set it up. We went 2 or 3 in terms of those big weekends. That final weekend, with Walker and everybody, it was pretty much
Friday Night Lights was a good weekend, but after that, it was kind of a wash.
Yeah. So we got the LSU one, right?
Yeah, I was going through that time frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jay Stubbins. He said, "I know it's still early in the process, but have you gentlemen lost any faith in the staff or the administration with the NIL?"
I haven't lost faith in the staff with NIL. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the administration with NIL until they prove it to me at this point. I've heard this song and dance for so long now, through every coaching staff that's walked through here since Urban Meyer left. You got to prove it to me that you're on board before I have faith in y'all. I think Billy has all the best intentions, but do I believe he has everything to work with he needs, even though he asked for it? No. Plain and simple. Can he get it? Sure. Show me.
I don't have any faith in anybody. I don't have any faith in the brand new president. Okay, I have no faith in Scott Strickland. I mean, he's just god awful, and literally, I trust more in a chimpanzee. That's just how I feel about him, and at least they're entertaining. And now, in regards to the staff, I mean, I don't trust the staff either. I mean, look what just happened with the NIL. And in turn, let's just talk about, pardon me, with Billy. He may not be all at fault, but guess what? You're the head coach, all right? And we didn't get the QB1 last cycle. Fair or not, it's on you, bro. You need to know what's occurring in your program. He didn't. Now, at the same time, yeah, we got this nice, big, massive army. I'm grateful for that. He forced, he put that, I want that in the deal. He had the foresight for NIL. Fair or not, life isn't fair. Get it done.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. You guys know I am the optimist. I'm the sunshine pumper, as they call it. If to give percentages or just numbers 1 through 10, I'm a 8 probably with the staff, a 2 on the admin, and that's just because
you're pretty high with the admin.
That's only because of some recent things that I've heard. I'm gonna go to 2, but
heard it all.
To Hirsch's point, you got to show me. You got to show me.
What have you done for me lately?
Where would you be with the staff if Coach Spencer wasn't on it? A 3?
You say Rob Sale and Stapleton?
Hey,
all right. Next question.
That was one question, baby.
Next question.
All right, this is from my boy Bo Dawes. Thank you, Bo. You do. You also give us good questions every week as well. He says, "Who do you guys see on an already crowded roster transferring this spring on our team and others? If Ole Miss QBs, if Ole Miss, I think it says others.
I believe what he's asking, as in such as the Ole Miss quarterback room or any other crowded rooms in other teams that might be transferring out. Yeah. Transferring from our team, that's a good question. I could see maybe a defensive lineman or 2 transferring out. I mean, I hate to say it, I could see Sapp transferring out if he doesn't feel like he's in a position to start this spring. I
don't know about that.
I'm just saying I could see it.
He's got a kid.
That's true, but I'm not. Who's to say he doesn't go to South Florida or somewhere like that? I mean. I'm using South Florida as an example. Obviously, I don't, you see it all the time. UCF, South Florida, you step down, but you stay in state. And I'm just giving an example. I mean, there could be others. You could see name-wise, I mean, you could see a couple of receivers maybe transfer if they don't like their status too. Khalil Jackson is one that comes to mind. He's still not on scholarship, I don't believe.
Mike, to kind of rephrase Bo's question, give me one from offense and one from defense that you maybe think that may transfer out if you can.
Fair, I already have 2 on defense. You mind if I say that real quick?
That's cool.
I have Scooby because just based on the depth, I don't think he'll start over Wingo, and I also have Jaden Hill because I don't think he's a competent SEC player. I've said this since day one. So don't let the couple picks he had that game, which I'm grateful for, fool you. He has no knees. So not to mention, if a couple of those young bucks step up, if they jump anybody like Kimber, they're gone. So on the offensive side of the ball, David Connor. I'm surprised he's still on the roster.
Good point.
Yeah, I'm with you on Connor, and you stole. I don't see you stole because you mentioned that before, and I was kind of stealing it from you. I'm with the guys that we brought in at backer. I kind of feel that Scooby may be, and kind of how he kind of went behind. Yeah. So he's the one that scares me as a guy that may transfer out. As far as those Georgia guys, I know you kind of answered. I'm gonna just answer that real quick. I'll take any one of them that doesn't commit. Either one.
I'll piggyback that real quick and answer both his and Charlie's question. As far as UGA quarterback room goes, I can see Brock Vandegrift leaving because Beck's going to be the starter there. I almost guarantee it. Kirby plays his hand and shows it, and that's fine. He goes with who he trusts. And as far as Ole Miss, it would have to be Dart. Dart would be the only one in that room that could leave. Now, he transferred from USC under coaching change, so he could transfer.
USC, the NCAA is not stopping anybody.
They are though.
They didn't stop Slovis.
Slovis he was left under a coaching change.
All right, next question, gentlemen. This
Same as Dart.
I'm
Charles.
sorry. And I'd never take a ginger. Sorry, Wes.
This is Charles Sapp. So if we are getting Goodwin, are there any more transfer portal guys we may sign? And such as Singletary from GA. I don't think we all
Not now. I mean, obviously now we're kind of locked in because the 26th, the 23rd was pretty much the deadline on getting kids in from the transfer portal for this cycle. My understanding about Singletary was we told him we'd take him as a safety, not as a corner. The coaching staff don't think he has the hips or the speed to be a cornerback at Florida.
Yep, and if any school, not 9 times out of 10, having Tyreek Stevenson, if that kid thinks he can play corner, and if school will take him as corner, he's gonna go somewhere where he thinks it will be corner.
That's where the money's at.
That's it. Not happens 9 times out of 10. I will kind of trust Corey Raymond, especially with our DB haul. So I don't think we can get a good read on the market until spring's over. So I actually don't want Singletary at this point, since Corey Raymond doesn't.
Exactly. All right, guys, we have 3 more questions left. This is from Tim Fineville. I apologize, Tim, if I pronounce your last name wrong. He says, do you all, and only one of us need to answer this question, do you all have any idea of if we may pick up another quarterback from the portal?
No.
All
I don't
right.
believe that's the staff's intentions as of today.
All right. And we all agree there. You agree there too, right, Mike? Okay. All right. Kyle McCullen. His next question from Kyle. He says, how should we grade our recruiting class? And if the defense isn't much improved, first I'll answer that second part next. How should we grade our recruiting class, Mike?
I mean, I'd give it a B minus.
Yeah, I think we
Are we just talking like a brief eval on it, or just
just to give it a grade?
Maybe a B minus. You know, we had a 90 highest average since Urban 92. Felt a lot of spots, but then again, lead players.
But after losing Rashada, I've got to agree B minus. I mean, that debacle right there knocks you down as it is.
Yeah, I agree. B minus. Like Mike just said, and Hirsch as well. You lose the quarterback out of the class. It's almost to a close C to me. You lose the quarterback, and then you don't have those high-end guys. But because of the overall average of these guys, we got a lot of talented guys. It's not a big class and not a lot of top-end guys. Then you lose your quarterback of the class. That kind of brings it down. All right, next question, which is the last question. No, apologize. This is back to Kyle's second part of his question. He says the defense isn't much improved. Where should the offense be at? What are the expectations of the football team, for another losing season or actually competing?
Kyle, I wish I could answer that cleanly, but there's a lot of unknowns right now, and we're probably going to have to wait and see what the depth chart looks like in spring and how some of these new guys, a lot of new faces. You lose 24 plus kids, from your team. That's a lot of faces to replace. That's a lot of experience to replace, whether they did well or not. So you just this staff is going to show if they're worth the money this season on how well they gel this roster together and how, well they develop.
Well, the linebackers are taken care of. I actually didn't hear that first part of the question. You mind repeating it, Wes? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. He says if the defense isn't much improved, where should the offense be at? He kind of asked.
I mean,
his question
no, I mean,
basically,
where it should be. I mean, I think the offensive line is going to be solid, unspectacular, but it's going to get the job done. We have our main attraction. It's going to be the running backs. We still have our best receiver. We will be better at tight end as well. So I mean, you can technically make the argument that we easily have the potential to be better at the offensive line. So
it all hangs on the shoulders of one Graham Mertz and how much
here's
improved
my
he
thing.
can be.
I think Mertz is a better college football quarterback last year than Anthony Richardson. Period. The first thing I see with Anthony Richardson on his little draft thing is a run against LSU. I don't care. I need a guy that hits a flood route.
We were down 20-something points when he made that.
I just don't care.
The one I see is the one from Utah.
Yeah, I just don't care. Like, it's cool. I think last season, as is without any progressions in that scheme, we win one at least, but most likely 2 more games with Mertz. So I think we should expect an improvement.
So how do you feel about the defense? If it's not improved?
No, I mean, I think it will be improved. I mean, you're going to have actual Cameron Jackson alone is going to be is the fallout from getting him, or essentially the fallout from getting him is huge. It gives less snaps to Watson. Okay, that's the biggest one. Now, at the same time, you can play in both in a big package. You also have McClellan, who is not a nose, more of a penetration three tech guy. He can now move to his natural position over at 3 tech. Same with Sapp. He can play if you want to play him at 5 or 3 in more of a smaller package. But even you have a potential with some younger guys to ease them in some more sub packages. And the only true problem on the defensive line is going to be your backup edge, where you can most likely easily pick up in the transfer portal.
Spring,
you see we're worst case going to be average at linebacker, yet unspectacular. The problem could be at safety. Corner, we're going to be improved.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you
That's
guys.
The ability to play more man coverage.
What you guys said about the offense. We were the number 1 offensive line in college football last year, and you look at our center was hard garbage, but our right guard was elite. Barber was elite at right tackle, and Garage was just solid. Ethan White was just solid. It wasn't anything spectacular. Those guys were just solid and created holes within the scheme. So if we can get that again, I look forward to our offense being a whole lot better. To Mike's point and what Hirsch said about the highlights, I do think Graham will be able to hit more of those intermediate routes that
I think our tight ends are going to have triple the catches they had last year.
Yeah.
Love me some Odom. Oh.
Yeah. Last question, guys, and this will wrap it up. This is from Charles. Again, Charles Sapp. He said, can you update our latest total for scholarship? Just want to know to see if we had any more left over. I know we kind of discussed that last week as well. I got some
basically where what I heard is it's probably right around 81. So that gives us 4 spots to fill. Obviously, in spring, you'll probably have, like we already discussed in the earlier questions, a couple more guys leave, and then we'll pick up some more guys. And you'll probably see some at the end of the day. You'll probably see one of the non-scholarship kids get a scholarship.
Yeah.
That's if there's any left over when all is said and done, you'll see one of those kids that the coaching staff loves. That's just a workhorse will get a scholarship. So it happens every year.
Or like if they're a 6-star long snapper.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Thanks for all the Facebook questions. We appreciate y'all, especially the repeat customers. You guys are great. We love y'all each and every week sending in those questions. I got a couple of questions from the Twitter, and then we're going to hit our community question of the week. First Twitter question from Lucas the Gator Man. Love him, hate him, whatever. Thank you for the question, Lucas. Which freshman or newcomer are you expecting the most from, including transfer portal guys?
That's a good question.
Mike?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Which newcomer, freshman, or transfer player are you expecting the most from next season?
Cameron Jackson. I alluded to it just a second
I knew
ago.
you were going to say Cam Jackson.
Bottom, like I said, one individual affects the whole defense. On offense, I'm gonna go with Damian George. I think he was
Bold
playing.
pick.
I think he's gonna settle in at right guard, and I think this scheme's gonna benefit him greatly, and he's really truly gonna excel.
Wes?
Mike stole my offensive guy.
Yeah, gotta be quick.
He will like the line of scrimmages. So I'll go with my boy. I'm probably stealing Hurst's guy right now. Eugene Wilson on offense.
No, you're good.
I think because I see him returning punts, and I see him just something that we don't have on this team right now, as far as a dynamic player on offense that can take the ball to the house. So I'm looking at him as being the offensive guy. And if I had to go to defense, I'm going to go with because we don't have anybody right now, in my opinion, as far as depth rushing the passer, I'm going to go with my boy Kelby Collins. I think Kelby will do some things. He'll get in the rotation, and he'll do some things on the D-line.
All right. Defense. I really look forward to seeing what Terahata Mitchell brings to the table. I think that kid has been on some winning football teams. I think he's going to be a big addition to the defense and take Ventrell's, spot and hold it down.
Leadership role
this year. And on offense, I mean, there's only one thing to say, baby. I said it at the end of the episode. It Mertz so good, baby.
I didn't think about Mertz.
I know y'all didn't.
I'm out there laughing.
Graham Mertz. I'm going to get on the Graham Mertz hype train. I don't care what y'all say. I've watched video on Graham Mertz. That kid played in the shittiest offense I think I've ever seen outside of a triple option.
Coach got fired mid-season.
I mean, it is horrible. This kid's I think the thing we might have to worry about is he's going to be so excited seeing multiple receiver sets. He doesn't know who to throw to.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, yes.
You're telling me the receiver has an option to go two different ways?
It's crazy, man. Fly route, go route one. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I look forward to it, man. And I think our run game, I think if he can get the running backs out of the box with some intermediate passing, run game is going to be huge. I think there's good potential there, man. I really, really do. And I'm excited to see it. Thanks for sending that question in, Lucas. And one more question from our man, Jeb Keel. If this O-line produces to its absolute highest potential and Mertz and the defense are even just average, can we win more games than people are originally expecting?
Absolutely. Nobody thinks that Mertz is going to be good. That's why, to this day, if anybody, any scholarship quarterback is announces transfer, they want him. No matter that the staff first brought in, they identified, they targeted Mertz, brought him in, and they got him. Yet they still think he's not good enough. It is. I won't get into why I personally think that, but people need to come to grips with it. And bottom line, people expect us to hope that we're bowl eligible, and I truly think, and I just went over it with our upgraded weapons. This O-line can be something serious. Our running attack, which is a huge weapon last year, can be even better.
Arguably the best running back attack in the SEC.
Another year in a scheme. So their reads only going to get better. That spring's only going to help that offensive line help with that gelling. So I mean, hell, if you get adequate play from Kingsley, but here's the thing: you have the ability with George and Kearney, for example, to bench them with the veteran from Countdown County. So I think, I see more. I think this season we have more wins. I truly do, because now we have a quarterback that I won't have to ask for gas money from anymore.
All I need to see is people tackle. I just need to see guys that can competently tackle the quarterback somewhere around and or behind the line of scrimmage would be helpful. And in open field.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And just take the correct angles and make tackles in open field.
And you saw what happened after Cox, Hirsch. You saw the difference in the defense after Cox was dismissed.
Yeah, and I still saw Jordan Travis escape 14 sacks in a game. But anyway,
positive thoughts.
Wes, what's your response to Jed's question?
Well, can you repeat the question again? Make sure that we kind of went down a rabbit hole a little bit.
If this O-line produces to its absolute highest potential and Mertz and the defense are even just average, could we win more games than people were originally expecting? Hell, yeah. I know your answer. You're the hype man. You ain't.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna keep it simple. Of course. I mean, undefeated. I believe so. What'd he say? I didn't hear what he said.
You're a great guy.
He said Wes is going to be predicting a 12-0 at the beginning of next season, baby.
Not even close.
All right, guys. If you didn't happen to catch this, and judging by your responses, you may not have. Every week now that we're doing this show, we're going to run a community question. And it's going to be just a kind of it could be any number of things. It could be college football related. It could be something else. It could be silly. This week for our inaugural community question, and this is, by the way, brought to us by the fourth member of our team, CJ McCann. Thank you, CJ, for all the work you do. You are the unsung hero of the show. Big shout out to you. The community question of the week is, with the addition of the transfer portal, which G5 or mid-tier P5 player of years past would have benefited the most from it? That means if you were a guy that was killing it in the G5 and you hit the transfer portal, which team is lining up to give you a huge NIL deal to come be part of their team? And CJ's answer to this, he was the very first person to answer, was Kent State running back return specialist Dree Archer. Now, if you don't know who Dree Archer is a Madden legend. So Dree Archer was about 5'8", 5'7", and ran a 4.3 flat. Absolute speed burner, very reminiscent of, say, a Rainey or a Demps. Very fast guy. Wes, did you have any answers on Facebook to that question?
I think, let me make sure. Nope, nobody responded on there.
All right, guys. Guys, be on the lookout for this in the future because we want to read some of y'all's responses to this, but we're going to go ahead and maybe give some examples of our own here to fill this out and complete this episode. Mike, who would you pick?
Just one player?
Just one.
Does it? I had two offhand, so I'm sorry I got to do it. No, I'll do the one. I apologize.
No, you're good. We got space.
Cole Brennan.
Whew, good one.
Rest in peace.
Hawaii Machine.
And LaDainian Tomlinson, because that is when they were the Horn Dogs were still in G5. They didn't make a jump yet.
Good choice.
Right, a little throwback.
Trivia question: Who is LaDainian Tomlinson? Who traded for LaDainian Tomlinson? What was that trade in the draft?
In the draft, wait. Hold on.
San Diego and New York.
Nope.
No, it wasn't the Giants. Was it the Giants and the?
Nope.
And he went 5 overall. He went 5 overall.
The Atlanta Falcons traded the 5th pick and their 2nd round pick, a 6th round pick, and return man Tim Drew, so that they could have Mike Vick #1. And the Chargers in turn took LaDainian Tomlinson and Drew Brees with the 2nd round pick.
I don't know who won that trade.
I know who won that trade. The team that got 2 Hall of Famers. Even if Breeze didn't do much in San Diego.
Yeah. Well, he did. It was just too late.
Yeah. All right, Wes. Who's your player?
I'm gonna go with an up-to-date guy, and because I knew he was homesick, and I would have loved to see him play with Percy Harvin on the field. Not saying that he didn't love his situation, but we all heard the rumors back then. I'm gonna go with CJ Spiller. Because of the money him being from Florida.
CJ Spiller wasn't a mid-tier. He went to Clemson.
Whoa.
Well, I thought he said just any player. I didn't know. Did I read the question wrong?
Yes, you read the question way wrong.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking somebody that was just good and wanted to leave at the freshman year. My bad. I read the question wrong. Hey, but for those who don't know, CJ Spiller wanted to be a Gator. We could have had him. I think Urban would have got him if you
move on with that. We ain't trying to.
We don't want to hear the community does not want to hear it.
Yeah, they do want to hear CJ and Percy together.
Anyway,
stupid.
G5 player, you got one?
I gotta think now. Go ahead and let me think of somebody right quick.
Oh my good Lord!
Les
did not do the reading. He did not do the required reading today. Guys, I tell you who mine is, and at first you're gonna be like, "What?" Hirsch's pick, Adrian Peterson. But wait, there's two Adrian Petersons, and my boy Adrian Peterson from Georgia Southern, who went on to play for the Chicago Bears, who had two of the most legendary playoff runs in Division III history, I think would have been an outstanding running back for any Power 5 team in today's market. An absolute bulldog. Wes?
Does his name count? Does Randy Moss count? He went to Marshall?
Yeah.
After his first year?
Yeah, Randy counts absolutely. If Randy drops down if he drops down the pot, I mean, back then it was a little different. Now he'd probably be fine. Now they'd be like,
I mean, I was gonna do your number one quarterback, North Dakota State Bison legend, Carson Wentz, the Ginger Hero.
There's a lot of guys. Hey, I can give you another one real quick before we jump. Khalil Mack.
Buffalo.
University of Buffalo. I mean, there's a lot of these names. It'd be a great question. And this community is why we need y'all to check that out next week and drop your answer to the community question. We want to hear y'all's outrageous takes for some of these questions, man.
Remember, folks, don't be like Wes.
Do the required reading. If we ask this question, if we were to ask this question again, don't be like, oh, well, I like Joe Burrow. Noel Devine. Hey,
who is Peyton Manning for 3,000?
A guy that went 0-4 versus the Florida Gators.
Facts.
Citrus Bowl.
Yes. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all this week coming in with all the questions, man. This is fun. We love the interactions with all y'all. We love giving the answers. Hopefully, we answered those of you that sent in questions. We gave y'all answers that satisfied what you were looking for. And if not, man, send us another one next week and we'll answer it again. I know some of y'all guys on Facebook are great about sending in questions. Balls in your court, Twitter folks. Where are the questions at? I mean, Twitter account's got over 2,100 followers. I can get 2 questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to need some more participation on y'all's part. Get in the game.
Yes, sir.
Get it done.
We love you guys. We hope y'all enjoy this. Make sure, guys, this is a YouTube exclusive video. If you're not already, please go ahead and make sure while you're here, if you're watching this and you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on the episode, man, and drop us a comment. If you drop us a comment in there, hey, if it's a question, maybe we read that next week. If you had a question, maybe it's on your mind. And we'll check that out too. So drop some questions in our comments here, and we'll read those as well. Make sure you like it, share it, everything, guys. We appreciate you so much for tuning in. Like I said, we hope you appreciate this, and we're going to do more of them. Till then, guys, go Gators.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.